It's week 13. It's time for my favorite bets in locks. There's a lot to like this week. Let's break it down. Against the spread this week, there is a lot that I like, and there has not been many weeks at all like this, where there is a ton against the spread that are like, yes, love that, love this one. This week, we finally have that. Against the spread in general, we've been pretty solid, 97 and 80. The locks got to be better. The leans have been great. But I feel pretty good about this week. We do have to wait for some injury news as well. But on Monday night, I like the Giants plus 7.5. I think they have potential to win, upset the Patriots. I really do. I do want Jackson Dart to play to feel a little better. I know Winston's been playing well. But several factors here. It's going to be tough for the Patriots to win 10 in a row. They're now a little banged up. 2 key injuries on the offensive line. They're going against a really good Giants pass rush. Some star players up front. The Giants obviously moved on from Dayball a couple weeks ago. Kafka's been doing a pretty good job at the offense. It's a tough game plan because there's not a lot of film on the Kafka offense, especially if it's Jackson Dart. For defense, they just fired the defense coordinator, Shane Bowen. So are they going to mix coverages up? Are they going to change their looks up than what is on from compared to what is on film? So there's a lot of factors that really could throw off the Patriots, and the Giants have a shot to win. 7.5 is just too many points in my opinion. I do want Dart to play. The Bills minus 3.5. I got the feeling the Bills are going to win big. Now, there's a lot of injuries. They got really banged up against that physical Texans team. I'm mainly looking at the offensive line. Deion Dawkins, the left tackle, is a big one. I think Spencer Brown's is going to be out. They could survive without him. If both tackles are out, I'm still going to pick the Bills to win. It makes it a lot tougher, though, but it's a solid matchup for them. The Bills could score on pretty much anyone but Houston. Steelers' defense is kind of declining again. Let the Bears score all over them. The Bills will be able to score. I don't see the Steelers' offense being explosive enough to keep up with Buffalo. I like them to potentially win big in that game. 3.5 is too small of a line. But again, if all those injury report guys are out, it makes it tough. It's early in the week, though. Broncos minus, it's actually at 5.5. I saw it bump down from 6.5 to 6 to 5.5 at the time recording this. I'm surprised about that. I like them. The Commanders' defense has been brutal. The Broncos got that bye. They're going to be able to cook things up on offense here. I think they'll be effective on the ground through the air. The Commanders just don't present enough problems there. The Broncos have probably the second best defense in football. They're going against a backup quarterback, a team that's just really been struggling. The Broncos in a great match for them. Should win by more than a touchdown, and the line is under a touchdown, I should say. Bengals on Thanksgiving night. Joe Burrow's back. The Ravens have been just getting by against some bad offenses, some bad teams. Yeah, the defense has been playing better, but they played the Jets, the Browns, the J.J. McCarthy Vikings. The Bengals should be able to put up a fight. I know the Bengals defense is pretty rough, so that is why the line is what it is, but it's too big of a line. I had the Texans beating the Colts. Doesn't mean they're going to beat them, but plus 4.5 in what should be a defensive game, I think is pretty significant there. The Texans defense is next level. They're going to make Daniel Jones uncomfortable. This game should stay tight. They have a shot to win. Games I'm leaning with, Jags minus 6.5. They're significantly better than the Tennessee Titans, and I think the running back should be able to do some damage. The defense should be able to create some plays, so they should cover the 6.5. But division games in Nashville, it could be a trap game. 49ers, I didn't love it at 6.5. It's bumped down to 4.5 now. And I like it there. It's a good matchup. The Browns' defense is very solid, but it's pretty predictable man coverage. The 49ers are smart enough to be able to figure it out enough. They're not going to dominate on offense, but the 49ers' defense should have no problem against Shedeur Sanders. I don't see how the Browns score more than 13 points even. And the Chiefs are really growing on me. Their injury report's starting to clear up a little bit as the Cowboys, they're still a little banged up. Tough matchup for Dallas. The Chiefs will be able to score, and they play better defense. Then they play well enough on defense to not let the Cowboys score every single possession like some teams. And this is a better offense than the Cowboys have seen in weeks as well. So a lot to like this week. Keep an eye on Jackson Dart. Keep an eye on the Bills' offensive line injuries, mainly Deion Dawkins, but some good games that I feel real good about this week. Straight up locks. I like the Seahawks against the Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings are going to Max Brosmer, which they might be better with an undrafted rookie than J.J. McCarthy. I just don't think it makes them sneaky enough against a great Seattle Seahawks defense. The Vikings won't score enough points. The Seahawks defense could win this game alone, but Darnold in a revenge game with JSN, they'll do enough offensively. The Rams against the Panthers. It's going to be tough for the Rams to keep winning, but they're going to be fine this week because the Panthers got really banged up against the 49ers on Monday Night Football, a short week. I just don't know how they stop Matthew Stafford and those receivers, and the Rams defense is balling out. Bryce Young didn't play that great last game. The Broncos, against the Commanders. Not only are they just better, but the matchup favors them. I feel like anyone can score on the Commanders' defense. The Broncos will be able to do that, control the clock, and the defense, of course, will ball out like always. And the Chargers against the Raiders. The Chargers, if they were on the road, I would not even call them a lean. You know, they're a much different team at home. Luckily, they're at home. Better on both sides of the ball than the Raiders. I think both sides of the ball will ball out in this game. Leans, the Jags against the Titans. They should win. Those divisional games could get a little interesting, so I can't call it a lock. And as long as the entire injury report isn't out, I do really like the Bills to bounce back. I don't see them dropping another one here against the Steelers, who aren't playing as well as early season. Quite a few team totals that I like this week. The overs that I like. The Bengals over 21.5. Joe Burrow's back. Not buying all in on the Ravens defense, even though it's better, but they've played some bad offenses recently. The Bengals will score 24 more points in that game. The Bills, depending on injuries, but I think they'll put up some points against that Steelers defense over 24.5. But I'd say if both tackles are out, maybe wait for that line to drop a little bit. And the Bucs only if Baker plays. I'm leaning with them winning even if Baker doesn't play, but I wouldn't take the over 23.5 unless he plays. But I do really like that if he plays. I think I like the unders a little bit more than the overs. Browns under 16.5. I know they're home, but a rookie quarterback in the cold versus a very well-coached, very smart, very good 49ers defense. I just don't see the Browns scoring that many points in that game. The Colts under 24.5. Yeah, some risk because the Colts have scored quite a bit of points this year. They have ability to be explosive, but the Texans defense is on another planet right now. I mean, they're that good, and they're going to get after Daniel Jones. They might create some turnovers. The Colts could win this game, but 24.5 seems a bit much. Commanders under 17.5. I'd say going against the second best defense in the Broncos. In second best defense in all of football, I just don't see them having enough. I think the Broncos could really. The Commanders, for them to get down the field at Mariota, they drain a lot of clock, and the Broncos kind of drain some clock as well. I just don't see the Commanders scoring enough points here. And I do like the Patriots. The Patriots have the ability with Drake May in that running game against the Giants' poor run defense to score some points. But, man, give me the first game without two key rookie offensive linemen that gave him a major boost. The Giants switch defensive coordinators. The pass rush will get after Drake May. I think we'll see some clock coming off here. The Patriots' game plan will be run the ball. The same with the Giants. So I do like under on the Patriots 27.5 as well. So, again, a lot to like this week. It's an intriguing week here in Week 13. Parlays for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. I have another slide ready that will pop up after this for Sunday's action. But, yeah, not the best odds on this first one, but it should be one that we could start the day with a hit. Rashee Rice, anytime touchdown, and Chiefs money line, so Chiefs just win the game. Rashee Rice, love the matchup. He's been targeted more than any other receiver on the Chiefs this season in the red zone, and he missed 6 games to start the year. Think about that. He's going to be an absolute weapon, especially after the catch against this Cowboys defense. I think there'll be a big weakness for them. Yes, the Dallas defense is better. I'm not really buying in that it's this much better. This would be more of a challenge, and I do like the way the Chiefs match up against the Cowboys. Cowboys a little banged up. Chiefs are about to get on a roll here, so pair those two together. I thought about adding a Rice 50 yards receiving. That's a possibility. Or Mahomes 2+ passing touchdowns. I feel pretty safe with like Rice 40 yards receiving. So if you want to add anything else, there are some options there. And then a plus 300 parlay on Thursday night. The Bengals, let's bump that up to 10. I like them at 7.5. Keep that in mind. I really do like them at 7.5. So if you want to go for even more odds, you can do that. But 10.5, Jamar Chase should score. He scored 5 touchdowns in the Ravens last year. He's the guy. Joe Burrow's back. When I say he's the guy, T. Higgins is out. So Chase is the guy. Joe Burrow's back. He should score. Derrick Henry, got to be a key factor. Running back score on the Bengals. The Ravens want to control the clock, keep Burrow on the sideline. They got to go with Henry in this one. I think Justice Hill is probably out in this game too. So that's pretty big. You could mix and match too. I mean, you could go Rice and Chase if you just want to go 2 receiver touchdowns on Thanksgiving. Pretty good odds there. If you want to go all 3 touchdowns, you could do that. If you want to pair Chiefs money line, best anytime touchdown picks. We've talked about a lot of these already. I think Jalen Hurts scores against the Bears. He just needs to get near the goal line, but he could score further out because the Bears are giving up a lot to quarterbacks on the ground. Jamar Chase scored 5 times against the Ravens last year. He's got his quarterback back. Derrick Henry, I mean, it's going to be a shocker to me if Henry and Chase don't score. Hurts, Chase, Henry, those guys are I feel like they're locks. Those guys should score. And then Rice feels like the best matchup against the Cowboys. And Devontae Adams just continues to score and score, being the only option in the red zone. And the Panthers are banged up at corner. Plus odds options. Yeah, the Bengals are allowing touchdowns to running backs, but also tight ends. Mark Andrews feels like a pretty good one. It's a little, Isaiah Likely could be a little sneaky. That's kind of the issue there. Jameson Williams, I kind of like that matchup against the Packers. The Packers have done fairly well against Amon St. Brown the last couple times they played him. I said the last two, earlier this year and then later last year. Jameson Williams, under Dan Campbell being the play caller, seems to be a little bit better. That's a pretty good option if you want something for that first Thanksgiving game. Jackson Smith and Jigba has been dominant all year. I know the Vikings defense is good, but when they've played against, it's been rare they've played against legit slot receivers. I feel like it's only been Ladd McConkey and St. Brown, and those guys beat them up pretty. I mean, McConkey really beat them up. JSN's the best slot receiver in the game right now, so that's worth a shot. And definitely one that's worth a little sprinkle, Juwan Johnson. Crazy amount of targets with Shuck as his quarterback. 2 touchdowns out of 3 starts for Shuck have gone to Johnson. And the Dolphins, even though the defense is getting better, they're really struggling. They're struggling almost more against tight ends. I think the Ravens had 3 tight end touchdowns in a game against them. So why not try it with Juwan Johnson there of the Saints? So there's my favorite touchdown picks. Like I said, Hurts, Chase, Henry all have games before the weekend. Those ones feel pretty damn good. Love the way Rice matches up and Adams. Why not? It's got to keep happening. Those are my favorite touchdown picks. We'll have more picks, parlays, and more on Twitter and Patreon coming up, leading up to game time every game day. And it's rivalry week for college football. It's where things get real interesting. These games always stay close, even if one team's way better than the other, or we'll see those upsets as well. I'm going to go with my favorite underdog and my favorite this week. Mississippi State plus 7.5 on Friday in the Egg Bowl, big-time rivalry game against Ole Miss. This game can stay close no matter how bad Mississippi State's been in the past. And Mississippi State, even though their record really won't show it, they're pretty sneaky this year, especially at home. They play much better. And there's weeks where Ole Miss looks elite. That's why it's a little scary. But there's weeks where they're just downright underwhelming. Recently against Florida when they played Washington State. So that could be a game like this one in Mississippi State, in a big-time rival game, and it's a must-win for Ole Miss, a lot more pressure, and it sure sounded like it's Lane Kiffin's last game, and maybe it was a distraction for the last game. It's probably going to be a distraction for this game. If he wasn't leaving, he would just say, make it clear, hey, I'm not leaving, let's focus on this. That really hasn't happened yet. He's kind of going out of his way to try to get them to focus without saying that, so I don't love that. I think Mississippi State could win the game, and they're getting 7.5 points. Another we'll talk more with our Twitter and Patreon. There's some other I like underdogs in rivalry week, but my favorite is Texas San Antonio. I said for our X and Patreon members to bet Texas San Antonio to win outright, even though they were underdogs last week, and they demolished a good East Carolina team. Texas San Antonio, who was at home in that game, they're at home, and they are a different animal at home. They are far better than their record. They are beating the hell out of teams when they are at home. They're home against Army. I think as it is, they're a much better team than Army this year, at least in my opinion. And they can get a lead early like they did last week and keep, riding that out and keep extending that lead. Army's a tough team to count on to kind of come back in games. So I like that. This is one of those ones where if it doesn't hit, it's like, why not? Like, that was the way Texas San Antonio was playing at home, and the way they have played at home over the last few years too. It's just like you have to give it a go. I think that line is just a little too low. So I like some other underdogs in the rivalry games. We went against Oregon last week. That didn't work. We did get Pitt, but I was tempted to go against Oregon this week again. Washington's a tough place to play. Thinking about that one. I think Auburn with Deuce Knight could be a little sneaky for Alabama. That Iron Bowl is just always close. It's always sneaky. We know Michigan and Ohio State's always close, and Michigan just for some reason always beats them. But could this finally be the year that Ohio State just rips them? It's a possibility. Surprised Michigan's ranked as high as they are right now. They've been a little underwhelming. They've been solid at times. We know they can play. They can run the ball, and they play well on defense. But interesting week. We haven't got too much chaos this year. We keep thinking there's going to be more upsets. It kind of looks like it till the fourth quarter. No, I think we could get those upsets this week. I think between Mississippi State against Ole Miss, Washington versus Oregon, and Auburn versus Alabama. I think one of those, maybe more, but I think one of those underdogs got to win outright, just win. I think we see one. Maybe it's more likely two than none. We'll see, though, man. There hasn't been too much chaos, so that continues this year. But I'm excited for conference championships next week, and then we have the playoff and bowl season. It'll be a lot of fun. But there you have it. Let me know your guys' favorite picks. This is let me know if this week is standing out to you like it is me with all these picks that really. I just haven't had many weeks this year like that. It's like you kind of got to pick the best out of an okay at best situation a lot of the time this year. It's just kind of been a weird year. But this week is kind of standing out. It's been strange in the NFL, so maybe there'll be more surprising outcomes. Injuries leading up to game time has been making it very difficult to pick this year, but we'll see what happens. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Check out our other content. A load of it already out for this week, and there's always more to come. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.